Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the vlog. Today I am joined by Stuart from True. He's the UK sales manager. Yep. And we are here in the NCEC in the shop floor again, looking at this fabulous stand that these guys have got here and talk through the range. So without further ado, let's see what True can do. So Stu, thanks very much for coming down and chatting with us today and running through the stand. So let's start at the beginning. Who are True? What do you do? Where do you start? Where's it made? Obviously we know it's a quality product, but I'll let you do the selling.
Yeah, so True Refrigeration is manufactured in St. Louis, Missouri. It's started producing about 75 years ago. It's still privately owned, still owned by the True family. And ultimately we want to be seen as the kind of best-in-class option. With all True equipment, it comes with a 5-year parts and labour warranty. It's built to last, it's built to be repaired, it's really a solid quality piece of kit which also runs hand in hand with energy efficiency as well. Yeah. All our equipment now is on hydrocarbon, so ultimately we've got some of the most efficient pieces on the market. Yeah. And again, when we're talking about energy efficiency and constant energy costs going up at the minute, then you know it's the refrigeration is on 24/7 in the kitchen, so it's well worth looking at that and putting that into your calculations.
Comes back. So yeah, as I say, energy is a big thing that's coming. I'm getting through a lot of requests now for products saying, I know it costs this much, but how much does it cost to run? That sort of stuff. So that's where it's always important to not look at the initial cost of the product. Obviously, you're paying a premium for a premium product. Yeah. It's just what it's going to cost you in the long run over time. You know, we can buy something for 50p, which is going to cost you 10 grand a year to run, for instance, or buy something for 10 grand, which is going to cost you, it's going to be free. So it's getting that balance right, and it's always looking at those energy ratings. And as you say, the energy efficiency on these units comes down to obviously the build quality and what's gone into them in the technology.
Absolutely, and it's probably worth mentioning on our new website, we've actually got an energy calculator. Okay. So you can calculate the running costs for all the True equipment, and you can also compare that with some of the kind of entry-level products where you might save on the initial cost. You can now compare that to your operating costs over a 5, 10, 15 year period. Yeah. So it's definitely a great tool to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's just live on your website, which they can just go and click on and
absolutely.
Input the data.
Absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I've always personally known True as being the sort of higher end sort of equipment. Yeah. And you can tell, obviously, it's very stylish, very heavy duty sort of equipment. But what makes a difference? So if we start, obviously, with the stand behind you.
We'll start with the single door, right.
So what makes that different to a normal fridge, for instance?
One of the main differences, or the differences you'll see straight away, is the compressor. The compressor on our units is always bottom mounted. Okay. We champion the use of the bottom mounted compressor because ultimately that's the coldest part of the kitchen. If it goes in the top, obviously heat rises. Yeah. So if it's down at the bottom, whether it's 30 degrees, 40 degrees, that's always going to work as efficiently as possible because that's in the coolest area of the part of the kitchen. Yeah. Something we've also got in our range of equipment is RCU technology, so it's reverse condensing unit fan. And what it is whenever that fridge or freezer goes into auto defrost, the condenser fan motor reverses. Okay. So rather than pulling air into the system, it blows air out the system and also blows any dust or debris out the system as well. So again, reduces our maintenance costs. Yeah. With the TGN, and just to explain the TGN, that's the model number, so TGN 1R. TGN is a true gastronome unit. So in this unit, you can fit a 2-1 front to back in there. Okay. This unit was basically designed from the ground up for the European and the UK market. And reason being, if you look inside, you've got huge capacity inside the fridge. Yeah. The door in this unit has got a reversing door, so it can be done prior to shipping, but it can also be done on site as well. We've got small touches, which again are worth noting. If you have a look at this, the bracket on the shelf here is what we call an E-shaped bracket. And on there you've got the capacity for storage on top of the shelf, but you've also got the storage capacity underneath the shelf because of the gastronome that slides in underneath. Yeah. So the small details like that, which again, you need to be aware of. We've also got a semi-rebaited gasket on this door here, which ultimately locks in that cold air for longer. So again, when it comes to efficiency, it's another little feature. We've got extra deep insulation into these units as well, so in harsh environments, again, it's going to hold that temperature a lot longer.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. With the True products, is there a range within a range, for instance? So is there an entry level and then it goes up through the range, or is it just one sort of level spec with True?
That's the good thing about True. I mean, True, what we see, we want to give the customer the best option. So we want it to be efficient, we want it to be high capacity, but we want it to last. We don't have an entry level option. We just want to give a good quality product. Yeah. Whether it's an upright, whether it's a counter unit, whether it's a prep table, it's always going to be built to last.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No, and you get, this proof is in the pudding, so to speak. You can see everything's really heavy duty. You can beat that all day long in the kitchen as we would as chefs, and this is going to last.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of maintenance and stuff like that, then, so the engineer comes in, is this able to be repaired on site? Does it need to go outside for hot works, that sort of stuff?
That's probably a good point, because again, with the compressor being bottom-mounted compressor, it's a lot easier to maintain. Yeah. You're not having to get up on ladders, you're not having to jump on top of the unit. All it is, you've got one screw in the kick plate here, you take that screw off, this pops out, and then you literally just go and do your maintenance.
Okay, perfect. It's obviously quite a big unit, I guess.
Yep.
With most, well, I say fridge manufacturers, you do something that'll fit sort of any sort of size, or are they all pretty? Yeah,
this is a kind of standard single door upright fridge. Yep. Again, obviously you want to make the most of the capacity, which is why it's that kind of size.
Yeah.
It comes on casters as standard. But yeah, it's all about the capacity, it's all about the efficiency, and it's really all about having a reliable storage unit in there for the chef.
I guess you sort of invest in a True fridge because you know it's going to last, it's going to do everything you need it to do for many, many years.
Correct. I mean, there's a reason that we've got an industry-leading 5-year warranty on there. It's a full warranty, so it's a 5-year parts and labour warranty on there. As long as that equipment is maintained and looked after, then there's no reason why this unit won't last. And it's not uncommon for True fridges and freezers to be in the market for 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Is there anywhere in the market it's really prominent? Anywhere any sector you're sort of majorly into, sort of thing, or is it pretty much spread across all sectors?
It's spread across all sectors. If a customer is looking to save money on running costs, if they're looking to invest for the future, then ultimately a True unit's for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And I mentioned before about the harsh environments. These are all True units are climate class 5. So they're built for commercial environments.
Okay.
So whether it's a hot day in the kitchen or it's a cold day, no matter what the temperature in the fridge, you can rely on the True refrigeration that's in the kitchen.
So I guess as we go down the range, then we come to the countertop versions.
Yeah. So this is what we call a TCR range. So this is a TCR 1.3. So a TCR is True Counter Refrigerator.
Okay.
We also do it in a freezer, so a True Counter Fridge. Sorry, a True Counter Freezer (TCF). But what we've got here is it's a TCR, and this can actually be configured however you want it. We've got a tool on our website, again, if you want to jump on that. But you can basically configure this so you can have 3 doors, you can have 2 half drawers, you can have 3 drawers. You can basically configure that however you want. So if you want 9 drawers in that unit, you can do that. If you want 6 drawers, or if you just want 3 doors or 2 doors, it's entirely up to you. But we also do three different types of tops. We've got a worktop, which is this top. It sits at 900 high, but you've got 100mm splashback on the back. We've also got a standard stainless steel top, so it's the same height, but without the upstand at the back.
Yep.
And then we've also got what we call a biscuit top, and it basically sits at 840mm in height. Okay. So that's basically made to slide underneath the benches.
Yep.
It's worth noting with the TCRs, these are all fully front vented, so if these need to be completely built in or housed, then they can do that. As long as this area is clear, then you'll have no issues. These can also be plinth mounted as well, so you can take the casters off, put them on the mount, because again, all the air is going in and out of this system here. It's got the same RCU technology. Similar to the TGN, these were actually designed from the ground up, again, for the European and the UK market. The reason being is you can actually fit, you've got the E-shaped brackets in here again.
Okay.
So you've got the shelf storage on top, and then the gastronome underneath. But each one of these sections will take a 1x1 gastronome.
Yeah. You find that a lot with a lot of other drawer fridges, is you can't. It's like
exactly. I mean, ultimately, gastronome. That's what it's about in the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a chef, everyone uses gastronome, so it needs to be compatible with the gastronome.
Yeah, exactly. And let's say working in cook lines before, in busy sites and stuff, having the option to have drawers and stuff is great for when you're doing your own mise en place and you're in your section. You can prep here and literally you've got your ticket machine. You wouldn't have to move because you've got literally everything here on multiple levels. Whereas having to go back to the walking can sometimes be a bit of a pain.
Exactly. And it's worth just pointing out. I mean, it's like this deep drawer here that we've got here. You can put the divider in there, so you can have 1/6 gastronomes in there. So you don't have to just put 1x1 gastronomes in there. You can have a variety of different configurations depending on what you want to use it for on site.
Yeah. And with the lock as well system on there, I assume this one key will do all?
One key will do all the locks,
Perfect.
yeah.
So
It's
again,
locks are standard. And again, you mentioned about reversible doors.
Yeah.
So it comes as left as standard on this one, but you can also literally reverse it on site, so they can all open right or open left, entirely up to you.
Perfect. Do you do full drawer system? So could I have this as a single drawer, like 2 drawer, 3 drawer unit, or is it split?
It's always split.
Always split.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, just because it's how it's configured on
the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, perfect.
But again, there is if anyone comes to the NCEC, if they just scan this QR code, it'll take you straight to the configurator, and you can pretty much build it whatever you want.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's really handy. Especially if you've got something you want certain size or certain application for.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
Take that box and create something you want.
It's as close to a bespoke fridge as you can get. Again, choosing the different worktops and choosing the different drawer configurations, it's entirely up to you.
And sort of lead times on that sort of process. So say I wanted a completely bespoke fridge, I've designed it myself, and I go, right, send. What sort of time frame are we looking at?
The beauty of the TCRs, these are actually configured in our warehouse in Goldthorpe near Rotherham, and because they're configured there, you're probably looking 7 to 8 working days.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so the carcass arrives in the UK, and then if you choose two doors and 3 set of drawers, then literally the guys in the warehouse configure it there, and then once it's configured, it's not a unit that's got to be built to order.
Okay.
We hold all the parts, all the components, and then it's literally just configured to however you want it.
Perfect.
So that's with the worktops or the biscuit tops, exactly the same for those.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, really nice, smooth service is what you want, really, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess as we go down the line, then do we get the more, not bespoke, but a bit more narrowed down to its use, or sort of use fridges and things like that. So obviously saladettes, pizza prep stations, that sort of stuff. Do you do all that sort of stuff as well as?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad you said pizza prep, because basically this is what we call a TPP, so a true pizza prep. Again, you'd be surprised how competitively priced these units are, considering you've got the 5-year warranty, and it's a unit that's built to last. It's a fantastic bit of kit. A couple of things worth pointing out. You've got these chopping boards, again, come included in the price. On the front of these, you can actually fit an 18-inch pizza. Okay. So you've got plenty of preparation space there.
A lot of the ones you see are quite narrow, and you're like, I wouldn't really get much more than a 10, maybe a 12 at a push.
Exactly. So you can use it for a pizza prep, or you can use it for a sandwich, depending on. Ultimately, it's made for pizza prep, but because of the size of the prep area, you use it for whatever you want. Worth noting that the 1/3 gastronomes that come in the top of this are included in the price, so there's no additional cost for that. It's actually included. If you during service, if you don't want the lids on, they literally just click off.
Okay.
Again, you can configure these to whatever you want. So we've got an example here where they put 1/6 in rather than 1/3.
Yeah. Just again, it's all working off that uniform size as well. Which is good. There's no special pans needed, no special. You have to buy our containers because so and so.
No, exactly. If you've already got those containers, then fine. You can just use them refill.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's just a little boosty bonus that you get the 1/3 gastronomes in there as well.
Perfect.
With the TPPs, you can probably see there they're slightly deeper than the TCRs.
Yeah.
And reason being is, well, ultimately you've got huge storage area. So you've got huge storage area underneath, and you've also got a huge prep area on the top.
Yeah.
So you can actually fit a 2x1 gastronome in front to back in those units, whereas obviously in the standard unit you can only get a 1x1.
Yeah. So if you were doing pizzas and stuff, you could have your oven here, and this could be a one-stop shop for everything else you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on the curious one, so there might be a bit of a grey area on some units, but can you? So I've prepped up with all this. I've prepped it all up, ready for service.
Yeah.
End of service comes down. I got some stuff left. I've cleaned it all out, wrapped it all up, put the lid down. Can I store in here as well, or does it have to go back into a normal fridge? Because a lot of places you can't store. It's
Absolutely.
Just using for hold.
It's the same refrigeration underneath as it is for the top.
Yeah.
If you take one of these out or look underneath, the actual cold air comes from underneath.
Okay.
So it's not blown over the top of the unit, it's always blown from underneath.
Yeah.
So even, again, in the hottest environments, the temperature of that ingredient is always going to stay the same.
Perfect.
And that's, again, with True, it's quality bit of kit, and it's actually over-engineered the refrigeration system, and it's just to guarantee those holding temperatures.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we've been around for 75 years is, one, obviously, the 5-year warranty is quality piece of kit, but we guarantee the best holding temperatures on the market. So if you've got good product in there which you want to hold, then absolutely, there's no reason why you can't keep them in the top as well.
Perfect.
And it is a fantastic. Once you get these on site, brilliant bit of kit.
Yeah. And then we step down, I guess, to the more grab-and-go sort of salad, sort of building unit, saladette unit.
Yeah. So this is what we call a TSSU, so True Sandwich and Salad Undercounter. And exactly what it says on the tin is for sandwich and salad making. So you'll see there, slightly shallower unit, smaller prep area. We've actually seen some pizza sites going for these units as well, when you go for the more kind of rectangle pizza rather than round pizza.
Yeah.
But again, you've got the 1/3 gastronomes come as standard in the unit. You've got the insulated lid that literally opens and closes whenever you want it. Chopping board comes as standard. And again,
space underneath.
You've got a huge storage area. But one thing I would say about these, because it's a slightly shallow unit, the machine unit on these, there's a small ledge on the back of there. That's where the machine unit is.
Okay.
Compared to these, again, so the storage area is slightly smaller on these, prep area is slightly smaller. But if you're using it for a dark kitchen or a smaller kitchen, that's probably
is a lot smaller.
Yeah, if footprint's the key, then go for a TSSU over a TPP.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, again, these are fully front vented units, so they can be pretty much boxed in. As long as the kick plate is clear, you'll have no issue whatsoever.
Yeah, it's always interesting with refrigeration. I find that people think like a fridge is a fridge or a freezer is a freezer, and there's so many variations. Like, why would I spend so many thousands on a fridge when I can get one down the road for 300 quid? It's making it work in the right environment, and that's always worth looking into the information that they give and the recommended environment for the fridge. And you'd be surprised to find what the specs are on the lower end of the market fridges compared to the higher end ones.
Yeah, and again, I suppose if you're looking at the different footprint for the different kitchens, if you can make that full process a lot more efficient by choosing the right equipment, ultimately you're going to generate more profit because you can serve more people.
Exactly that, and of course less breakdowns you're going to have. There's nothing worse than I've had it before in kitchens where the walk-in goes down and you're literally panicking. Where am I going to put all this, thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stock?
Yeah.
It's always worth investing in the best you can for your price. It's well worth it when it comes to refrigeration.
Yeah, I was probably going to say with the 5-year warranty that we've spoken about, the industry standard tends to be the 2-year parts and labour warranty, and sod's law, most of the time a fridge or freezer will go down 2 years and 1 month.
Yeah.
So having that 5-year peace of mind, once you invest in True, you've got that for that additional 3 years. And if you look at the cost of a replacement compressor, for example, as well as the man hours, as well as other little bits and pieces, you could be talking £600-700 for one call out. Yeah. So it's well worth bearing in mind, especially the amount of fridges that you could have in one site. Yeah,
definitely. I would say with that build, I always remember, as you say, the GN trays and pots and pans and all are included. So normally, with the cheaper ones, that's an extra add-on cost. It's an extra bit to spec in. So all that's in one part. Yeah. Chopping board, it's all part of the package. So it's worth taking that all into equation. Of course, the energy saving as well. So I guess we move down to the big blue.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of our glass door merchandisers. This is the GDM 35, and again, looking at the product code, GDM glass door merchandiser. So once you know what it stands for, it's relatively simple. One big thing to point out with our glass door merchandisers, this isn't just a drinks display fridge. There was a change in legislation in 2021.
I was ask about actually.
Yeah, which ultimately means that you can't. There's a new classification now for food storage as well as drink storage. So there is a big difference between a glass display unit which only holds food and one that only holds drink. Yeah. So with the True units, ours will do both. So ultimately, you've got that again option to if you want to store drinks on one side and package food on the other side, because the holding temperature is in there, that holding temperature will never go above 3.3 degrees.
Yeah, and that is the big difference. So people who aren't aware of this law, it's you might have your back bar fridges with your bottles in and go, sorry, I'll put me sandwiches in there to serve it for the guys in the evening and stuff. Technically, that's not legal anymore because of this new legislation that came in. It's all to do with how quickly that fridge can drop down to certain temperatures to ensure that the food is kept in the safe zone.
Correct.
And this is exactly why you look at something like this. It ticks that box because, as I say, your normal back bar fridge won't do that, and technically you are now breaking the law. So
So it's the same kind of features and benefits. So you still got the bottom mounting compressor on there. You still got the RCU technology on there. One thing I will point out, you'll see this in a lovely powder coated blue.
Yeah, I was going to say it sort of stands out from the rest.
The reason we put this in there is it's just to highlight the fact that any of the True equipment you see here can actually be powder coated in any kind of RAL colour. Okay. Again, if you jump on the True website, there's options that you can basically bespoke your own fridge. All the powder coated is done in-house. So as long as you can wait probably 12 to 13 weeks, it'll be powder coated during production before it's shipped over to the UK. And again, something to point out, you've got the display fridge here, which when it's plugged in, that's illuminated. You've got 2 screws here, which literally slides the panel out and you can put your own branding on there.
Is that something, can you offer branding, or is that something the user would do?
Ultimately, that's usually done from a third party.
Yep.
I mean, depending on, again, the size of the business and what they want to do, then we can do that.
Okay.
But ultimately, yeah, that'd be down to the end user to tweak and change whatever they want on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as a fridge, as a front of house fridge, as a standard, they're available in aluminium or black. But yeah, it's another thing to point out as well is we actually manufacture in the US as many components as possible as we can for a fridge. So the shelving we manufacture, the glass we manufacture, the LED strips we manufacture, and it's all to do with keeping control of the quality of the equipment, the components that are going into our own fridges. Again, it's a 5-year warranty, it's a market-leading warranty, and there's a reason for that, because we're quite proud of the fact that we can put this in and the customer can kind of, they've got that peace of mind that they can just ignore it.
And I guess if the worst does happen, there is an issue, chances are you're going to have the spares there readily available, you're not waiting on a third party to go, I need to get X amount, they can't supply. You're in control of that. So
yeah, absolutely.
The whole picture and the whole package works better.
Yeah.
So in terms of, obviously we've got a selection of what's on display from what you guys offer here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, anywhere, other areas of the refrigeration market, I guess you're into? Do you do things like machines and slush machines of cool drinks and that sort of stuff, or is it like the core refrigeration systems you'd see in your pubs, restaurants, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the way we see it is we focus on what we're good at.
Yeah.
And we're good at refrigerated cabinets. So whether that's fridges, whether that's freezers, uprights, undercounters, prep tables, those are our kind of bread and butter.
Yeah.
And we don't want to taint what we've done, because the equipment we're putting into the market is fantastic equipment. And we don't just want to add strings to the bow for the sake of doing it. We want to be able to trust what we're putting out there, and
Absolutely.
we want consumers to trust what they're getting from us.
Yeah, I guess it's like you go to a high-end restaurant, you see a menu, they've got like 4 things on the menu for a reason. They want to make that the best it can be. You've got a menu with 16 pages, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
they can't
exactly.
make all that for free.
Exactly.
Fresh, sorry.
Exactly.
So yeah, I guess it's the same sort of principle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess that was a quick overview really of True, and certainly the stand we've got here at the NCEC.
Yeah.
Again, this stuff is here to come and see, and it's really worth coming down and having open the doors, play around with the units, and see the quality that True offer. And of course, go onto the website and do the build program, so you can see what a bespoke unit's going to look like, how much it's going to cost you in energy and that sort of stuff, and do the calculations before you just go, I need a new fridge.
I was going to say, with the cost calculations, if you've got 1 freezer on site or 2 freezers on site, you'd be amazed at how much a freezer actually costs to run over a 12-month period compared to a fridge. Mm-hmm. So if you've got several freezers on site, please just do the calculator, because once you do that calculator, compared to entry-level products, the True completely smashes it out of the park. And it's an eye-opener, put it that way, especially with the rising costs at the minute.
Do you go up to walk-ins? That's another question.
We don't.
No, okay.
We don't, purely cabinets.
So twin door is sort of the biggest one we do?
2 doors the biggest. We do some 3-door units over in the US, but again, because of the size of the kitchens in the UK, we've not really sold that many triple door units over here, so it tends to be the big double door units.
Anything, meat ages or anything like that?
Nope.
No, just stick to what we got.
Yeah, stick to what we know, fridges, freezers.
And do it really well.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
And I guess that's the golden rule here is, it does what it needs to do really well, and obviously very stylish. So, I guess that just leaves me to say massive thanks for coming down and chatting with us today. As I said, these are here to come down to the NCEC in Bristol, Avonmouth, and see them. Any questions, any queries, as always, reach out to myself. If I don't know, I can reach out and we can get the questions answered for you. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for coming down and chatting to us. Chris. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. For more information on the digital kitchen at the NCEC and facility hire, visit the website or give us a call. Details on this are below. And don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for regular updates on the digital kitchen. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.